Following is the policy launch of the Australian Labor Party for the 1993 federal election, delivered from the Bankstown Town Hall by the Prime Minister of Australia, Paul Keating.
And in calling on the Prime Minister, I close with Abraham Lincoln's words to General Hooker. And now, beware of rashness. Beware of rashness, but with energy and sleepless vigilance, go forward and give us victories.
Good on you. Thanks a lot. Aren't you nice? On your belly. I ask every Australian to think about this. When you wake up on March the 14th, whoever has won the election, there will still be unemployment. There will still be problems to solve. If Labor is re-elected, there will also be an accord between the unions and the government, guaranteeing industrial peace, low inflation and a continuation of that spirit of cooperation. There will still be Medicare, guaranteeing quality health care for all Australians, regardless of age or circumstance. Too right. There'll still be equity and access in education. There'll still be a social safety net providing care for the aged, the sick, the less well off and the unemployed. There'll still be social policies expressly designed to manage the change we're going through, to alleviate the hardship and minimise the social damage. And there will be every reason to believe that we'll continue to succeed in our ambition to become a great trading nation, a great Australian social democracy, a proud and independent country, united and cohesive, and able to deliver to all our people living standards and a way of life unequalled in the world. And there will be no GST. No miserable 15% tax on virtually everything you buy. But if the coalition is elected, within 6 months there'll be no accord, instead discord, no universal health system, no safety net, and there will be a GST. There'll be much less equity and access in education. Workers will lose the protection of awards and be forced to negotiate individual contracts with their employers or take the sack. Everyone will be paying a 15% tax on virtually everything they buy. And you can be absolutely sure not one new job will have been created by these measures. That's why this is the most important election in memory. Today, a whole generation of Australians know that the world does not owe us a living. We're the first generations of Australians, I think, to really understand what that means. I think I began to understand towards the end of the 70s. It was then I began to form what was, for me at least, a new idea about Australia. The thought took hold that we could be a creative country as well as a so-called lucky country. I thought that we could become a great manufacturing nation, a country which made things that the world wished to buy, things which bore the stamp of Australian work and Australian genius. I became convinced, as did many of my colleagues, that Australia could be more than a quarry and a farm, that we could find a place in the front rank of trading nations. This, of course, was contrary to prevailing wisdom. Yet in the early 1980s, it was very rapidly became apparent that the idea was not an option, but in fact an absolute necessity. We, in fact, no longer had any choice. The story since then has been a remarkable one. The Australian people are bringing into being a new Australia. Of course, we still export the raw materials, and much more effectively, in fact, than before. But we also export high-technology medical equipment and high-speed ferries, processed food, cars, computers, electronic and chemical products, information, education, television programs and tourism. And increasingly, those exports go to the fastest growing economies in the world, those in our own region, of course, Asia. These things have happened with remarkable speed. But in the face of this success, our opponents talk incessantly of failure. Where there is hope, they counsel despair. To sell their plan, they think it's necessary to talk Australia down, to extinguish people's faith, to rub it out. My counsel is hope. But these days it's more than hope. It is belief. Belief in what the 90s hold for us all. I've always said that I wanted to be around for the 90s to see it come true and to be part of the transformation. Our opponents say they have a plan. The word plan, of course, is forever on their lips. Their pollster demands it. But, as we know, they have the wrong plan. But Labor has more than a plan, just a plan. We have a whole national change, a sea change, born of national necessity, happening right now. A change sustained by faith in Australians. A change not shaped by a computer model or a textbook, but bedded in reality and common sense. A change that does not break the mould of Australian society, but reshapes it by drawing on its strengths. I see Australia growing on the dual foundations of energy and care. Our energy flows from the genius and ambition of our people, which the combination of liberal democracy and free markets alone can deliver. And our care flows from a spirit we have in common as Australians. The Australian company is today a much more innovative, dynamic, export-oriented entity than it's ever been. It'll be the engine of growth and the pacemaker of employment. And that's why 2 weeks ago we gave a further break to capital and innovation. We lowered the company tax rate from 39% to 33%, providing Australian industry with a business tax system competitive with any in the world. People ask us, where will the energy come from? That's where the energy will come from. It'll come from all that dynamism and innovation which we alone have developed. And we'll do everything we can to stimulate it and, where necessary, provide strategic support. We'll make sure, for instance, that Australia keeps its car industry. Toyota has already committed itself to a new state-of-the-art plant at Altona in Melbourne. Mitsubishi is poised to make major investments at its plant in Adelaide. The government, I believe, will work closely with Mitsubishi to bring this about. But no government incentive can match the opportunity offered to Australian companies by the emerging markets of Asia and the Pacific. Never in our history have we had such an opportunity. I've no doubt that if we are wise, I mean governments, business and the people of Australia, we will see in the 90s manufacturing and trade on a scale unprecedented in our history. But it will not happen of its own accord. Unemployment is the greatest problem we face. It's the problem of the era. It's overwhelmingly the principal concern of the government. We've managed to achieve more economic growth than most comparable countries in recent times. We've had 4 consecutive quarters of growth, but it's not yet begun to create enough jobs. It is at the moment productivity laden. We're not seeing the jobs with the growth. And we're not helped, of course, by a sluggish international economy. So what then is the answer? What is Labor's job strategy for the 90s? Well, over the next 3 years, Labor will place the emphasis where it has to be, and that is on business and on incentives to invest. Labor's job strategy is designed to assist recovery in business. Under Labor, business will pay a tax of 33% on profits, compared with 42% promised by the opposition. Under Labor, business will be able to obtain an investment allowance of up to 20% on all investment in the next 2 years. An incentive the opposition will not be providing. And with Labor, there will be no GST to weigh down business and depress spending. No big new taxes, no industrial conflict, just sensible, practical things to help business investment. But in the search for solutions, there can be no greater folly than to proclaim the task an easy one, as Dr. Hewson did last week when he promised, and I quote him, getting jobs rolling from day one. And no greater shame than to throw away the progress we've already made. It would be a tragedy. I think it would be a tragedy if we let the recession crush our faith, or worse, ruin our work to date. But there's the other lesson I learned growing up in Bankstown, and that is, in hard times you stick together. That's right. That when you're confronted with a challenge, unity is strength. Every time Australians cooperate, every time they form a partnership, every time they agree on a common goal, every time they combine their ideas and their energy, they make Australia stronger. If one word describes Labor's policy for Australia, it is cooperation. Our policy must never be to undo the ties that bind us, but rather to strengthen them, as we did with the accord between the government and the unions last week. We recognise that childcare is essential if women are to take a job, undertake training or study, or look for work. Our commitment to meet total demand for work-related childcare by 2001 will aid women's participation in the economy, as our 30% cash rebate on fees will make childcare more affordable, especially for middle-income earners. It's not good enough to say that a woman is either in the paid workforce or in the home. Those distinctions shouldn't be made. Chances are these days, in the course of their lifetimes, most women will spend periods of time doing both. The needs of mothers caring for children at home are often overlooked in the childcare debate, but we've not forgotten them. I recognise and appreciate the important role played by women who choose to stay at home while their children are growing up. We propose to introduce a new cash payment of $60 each fortnight to be called the Home Child Care Allowance. This allowance is more generous than the dependent spouse rebate it will replace and has the added advantage of being paid directly to the mother at home. This will provide a source of independent income for women while they are out of the paid workforce caring for children. In a further measure to meet the needs of women at home caring for children, we will extend fee relief to occasional care. This is in addition to my earlier announcement that we will double the funding for playgroups. Labor's childcare policies recognise the reality that different families choose to deal with the responsibilities of work and family in very different ways. Medicare is another concrete expression of the quality of our society and of Labor's commitment to it. The important thing about Medicare is that it is a statement as much as it is a system. It's a measure of our social progress, a measure of our care for one another. It's not yet the perfect health system, but it is without doubt among the very best in the world. The Coalition will pull it down. They say they won't, but as everyone here knows, they will. They'll abolish the foundation upon which Medicare rests. They will abolish bulk billing for everyone but pensioners. 13 million Australians will have to pay their bills up front, $32 a visit. Shame, it is a shame. The Coalition is determined to take our health system towards the American model, the model that costs far more than ours, delivers infinitely less, and which the Americans are determined to replace. The Coalition would cut $1.3 billion a year from public hospitals while they go around crying crocodile tears over waiting lists. 10,000 beds will go. And they want to give $1 billion to the AMA specialists into the bargain. That's it. $3 an hour for Australia's youth, $3 a minute for the AMA's doctors. That's the opposition's policy. Well, let me make this commitment. We will never abandon Medicare, never will go on improving it. Too right. Too right. But today I announce an important improvement to Medicare. We will open Medicare up to the private hospital system so that it can purchase an estimated 10,000 private hospital beds per year for people on waiting lists. We will also fund post-acute and palliative care patients in private hospitals, a step which will at once increase options for palliative care and free up public beds. But in addition, a new Commonwealth dental health program will be established for emergency and basic dental care for health card holders. Under Labor, wealth will never determine one's chance to get a decent education. We want our universities and TAFE to remain educational institutions, not private business organisations. We won't be introducing a voucher system for our universities. We will not put a tax on books. We will not tax knowledge. Looking after people in need has always been Labor's strength, and it is a proud record. And for all pensioners, Labor will also introduce fringe benefits from April, giving 380,000 older Australians valuable discounts on everyday services. As our success depends on the bonds between us, it also depends on the strength of our culture. Labor guarantees support for those great Australian institutions which preserve the nation's heritage, encourage ideas, disseminate information and strengthen national cohesion. I mean such organisations as the ABC. Yes, Auntie, we love you. The CSIRO. The CSIRO. The Australia Council and the Special Broadcasting Service. But of course, need I say, they're all on Dr. Hewson's hit list. Labor will also extend the services of Radio Triple J to Australian regional areas in Ravana. Our cultural life and our quality of life in Australia is uniquely determined by our environment. Barry mentioned it when he introduced me. Whatever separates us, we have this continent in common. We are the only nation on earth that has a continent to itself. We share responsibility for it. In December, Labor delivered its environment statement, the centrepiece of which was a major program to renew and revive our greatest river system, the Murray-Darling Basin. In Labor's next term, improving the quality of the urban environment will be a major priority of the government, as will identifying areas of habitat important to the national estate. Labor will not be joining the Liberals in their rush to uranium enrichment and engaging the nuclear fuel cycle. This government has long spoken of the need to address the historic and continuing injustice done to Australia's Indigenous people. Over the years, a great deal of money has been spent, and as we know, a great deal of goodwill expended. But the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people continue to suffer the consequences of 2 centuries of injustice, prejudice and neglect. Any government that I lead will be determined to complete the process of reconciliation Labor has begun, and at last return to the Indigenous people of Australia the dignity, social justice, health, opportunity and living standards to which all Australians are entitled. But to fail in this is not just to betray the Aboriginal people, but ourselves, all that we profess to believe, everything Australia stands for. We're determined not to fail this time. It's been a consistent Labor theme that our success as a nation depends on our ability to harness all our resources, human as well as material. It depends on having faith in our institutions and confidence in ourselves and in each other. It's perhaps in part because Australians are growing in confidence that more and more of them are questioning whether it is appropriate for Australia to have as its head of state the monarch of another country. Many Australians... Good on you. Many Australians, some surveys suggest a majority, believe that we'll be better able to succeed in the world with a unique and unambiguous identity which an Australian head of state chosen by the Australian people could provide. While it's far from the most pressing matter facing the nation, it's nevertheless important that we do not let this decade leading to the centenary of our federation pass without advancing this debate. To do this, we'll set up a broadly based committee of eminent Australians, including representatives of the states, to develop a discussion paper which considers the options for a Federal Republic of Australia. It's time. It's time. Any options developed by the committee would not seek to change the way of our government, only to have an Australian chosen by Australians as Australia's head of state. I'd like to extend an invitation to the opposition to participate in the workings of this committee. It would be the intention that as a result of this committee's deliberations and the public discussion that would follow, the Australian people would be in a position to decide by referendum later in the decade whether Australia should become a republic by the year 2001. Early in the speech, I said that this community was remarkable for being so strong and so cohesive. It has changed dramatically in recent years, and no change has been more dramatic than the arrival in this place, in Bankstown, of people whose culture and experience is so very different. Bankstown has accommodated the change. And just like every other community in Australia, Bankstown is accommodating the economic change the nation is going through. Bankstown has drawn on its people, it's drawn on its community spirit, it's drawn on its sense of justice and its well-developed sense of fairness, on those traditions common to all Australians, to make the transformation from one world to another. We will only be strong, we will only be able to make the necessary change, and the change will only be worth making if we keep the bonds between us strong. In the end, this is the only way we'll get where we want to go. It is the only way we'll solve our problems. It's the only way to avoid creating new ones. To my mind, it's because Australians know these things and for so long now have practiced them that Australia is a great country and a country with great prospects. It is because we have the wisdom both to succeed in the world and to live together in Australia. And in the end, I think this is at the heart of our pride and why we love Australia, and why we must make sure that the ties that bind us are never, ever broken. Thank you very much. That's Labor. That's Labor. It's always Labor. Right, Melissa?
You have been watching the policy launch of the Australian Labor Party for the 1993 federal election.